Right off the bat, I'll admit I've not read the books. Turns out that is a good thing, since this movie was a disappointment all on its own. How do you F up an adaptation in 2020? All you have to do is redo what someone else already did. It can't be the fear that such an idea won't work, since the book's popularity proves that people like the concept and you already have an inbuilt audience, which, if nothing, would at least cover the cost of making the movie. So, Disney! What the hell? Before we get started, subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications. My first adaptation disappointment came in the form of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and it's not just the calmly that I have an issue with. The book is so much better than the movie. I hate the movie. I love the book. Sidebar. Screw J.K. Rowling. Moving on. Unpopular opinion, but when I first saw the Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, I liked it. I hadn't read the book, and I was almost out of the age demo, but since everyone was complaining, I picked it up, and I get why you all are mad. There are so many things in the books that didn't happen in the movies, and overall, I'll say it's a decent movie, but a terrible adaptation. Now, a few months ago, there was this trailer in trending on YouTube and it looked cool. I'd heard the name Artemis Fowl before somewhere, so I figured, why not give this a whirl? I thought it was a little typical, but nothing too bad. And then I saw the comment section, and boy was I having Percy Jackson flashbacks. Back then, I'd googled the book and read the summary, and for once I was glad to not have read a book. If I had, my disappointment in this movie might be compounded to such a level that I would personally break into Bob Iger's house, grab his collar, and make him answer for his crimes. You know what sounds really interesting? A 12-year-old criminal mastermind. You know what sounds generic? A 12-year-old whose dad gets kidnapped, so he does some stuff to get the blackmail MacGuffin. I'm sure you can tell which one is the book and which is the dumbed-down Disney version. Here is what I don't get. The Artemis Fowl books, written for a 12-year-old demo, did very well as a book series, and the children, the demo for these books, understood that Artemis wasn't a good guy. There are very few books that would risk a 12-year-old bad guy and succeed in execution. This series already proved that it is both those things. So why, oh why, would you dumb it down and make it so that Artemis had to do what he was instructed to because a cloaked figure kidnapped his dad? It is my understanding in the books, he kidnaps Holly Short and gets a ransom of a literal ton of gold. And he doesn't do it because his dad is kidnapped. Hell, he doesn't do it because he needs the money. He does it not because his family is poor, but because they aren't as rich as they used to be. Such a story would have been so fascinating to watch, but no. Disney had to dumb it down because kids can never understand complex characters. It's not like Avatar: The Last Airbender, full of complex characters aimed at children, was a thing. Children are stupid. They never understand. It's not like the same companies marketing Kylo Ren and Captain Phasma toys to the same kids. Seriously. This movie fails as an adaptation, but does it stand well as a movie? The movie has moments, but nothing that saves it, as it were. The plot is generic. I won't even touch the effects because Disney is the one responsible for MCU and the Star Wars effects. They know what they're doing in that area. The plot is Artemis'S dad is kidnapped by some cloaked figure and they threaten Artemis to get them the MacGuffin. Does the MacGuffin have a name? Yes. Am I gonna continue to call it MacGuffin? Yes. Because the MacGuffin is so vague. It will do something to something, but what, to what, and to Who knows? The movie sure doesn't. The characters protecting it sure don't. I don't think the writers do either. Let's not even talk about how this isn't even the plot of the first book. I've been told in the book that a major motivation for Artemis is his mother. I wouldn't have even known that had I not asked. I wouldn't have even known that had I not asked a friend. According to the movie, she doesn't even exist. I don't think she's even named. Another thing I've been told about is how Artemis found out about the fairy world in like 2 weeks all by himself. In the movie, it is treated like some family business of trading in antiquities. Holly's character is botched. I'm getting tired of explaining how much this movie fucked up, so go look it up yourself. There are so many times in the story where we are told what is happening, instead of, them doing their job and showing us what is happening. This is narrated like a pilot of a CW show. There is a kind of, sort of, cool fight scene, but the way they use the time freeze thing confuses me, so no points for that. It is nearly impossible to immerse yourself into the story and just ride the wave. Instead, you find that you are criticizing every second of it, simply because it contradicts not only its source material, but its own movie canon as well. This movie was like the line that Artemis said at the end, "I am a criminal mastermind." You wanna know what that line reminded me of? Jughead's soliloquy about being a weirdo. But worse. The movie does nothing to make him earn that title. At least Jughead was kinda out of the perfect small-town aesthetic of Riverdale. Artemis did not commit any crimes for him to earn the title of criminal mastermind. Also, I should mention none of this is even for a second on the actors. They did very well with what they were given, especially the actor who played Artemis and Dame Judi Dench. First Cats, and now this? Ma'am, someone should talk to your manager. The worst part of this might be that the execs at Disney aren't going to see this as honest critique. Instead, they will call the franchise's fans butthurt. And instead of correcting their mistakes, they would go on to at least ignore and at worst villainize these fans. And now Percy Jackson series is coming back in their hands, and it really worries me. That series and the other interconnected series with the whole Percy Jackson verse, basically all Rick Riordan works, deserve a lot of appreciation and love and honesty and sincerity in their adaptation. And honestly, so did this series. Hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time. Sending love. Toodles!